came across this video and I was like, you know what, I think I need to share this video with my audience and then see what they have to think about it. And then let me come back with a couple of comments.
Very simple. Young people, let me say this to you. We are gathered here from all over Nigeria. We are seated, everybody by the side. We will listen everybody to the same speakers as you're listening to me right now. You will listen to everybody. But it is not everybody that the words will be effective in their lives. It is going to be effective for the person who listens and decides that the prophecies on his head will not go in vain. This is University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Several years ago, I came to this school as a student. Before I came to this school as a student, I was physically challenged at the age of 3. And between the ages of 3 and 10, I was a beggar in my village. Everybody knew me. I was crawling on the floor for 7 good years. I will hang something on my neck. I will go to the marketplace to beg. That was what I was doing for 7 years. And for these 7 years, all my age mates were already in school. I was despised. I was nobody. Until one day, I decided to go to school. And when I got to school, the headmaster made a mockery of me and said to my father, "Why did you bring this one here? What did he come here to do?" He said to my father, "He can't be a student. So take him back home. He can't be a student." And then I asked the man, "What will I do?" If you want to maximize who you are in life, you don't tell stories of what has happened to you. You tell stories of what will I do to come out of what has happened to me. That's the question. So I asked the man, "What will I do?" He said, "Go and learn how to walk." And for 1 year, I was learning how to walk with this stick. And I'll take a step and I will fall. Young people, listen to me. On the journey to success, you're going to fall several times. But when you fall, you're going to get right back on your legs. You're going to write an exam several times, but you won't give up until you pass that exam. You're going to go for interviews several times. You're going to be rejected, but each time they reject you, you return. You're going to set up businesses several times. You're going to make mistakes, but a mistake does not define who you are. And so from primary school, working with a stick, I came to this University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And when I entered this school, life was a hell for me. No money to eat, nothing. And then, to make matters worse, I didn't have a leg to walk with. I was telling my driver that brought me that I used to walk from 6 flats to 𝐻𝐿𝐴 hostel with this stick in my hand. Why? Because I wanted to prove somebody wrong. I knew I might be physically challenged, but that is not who I am. I know that you might not be beautiful according to people's standards, but that's not who you are. I know you might not be as rich as others, but that's not who you are. I know that you might not come from the greatest of families. Young person, that's not who you are. So I came in here, and then I had a terrible experience after I lost my dad. A lecturer, I went to ask him a question in the class, and this man said to me, "Bring the question to the class. I want everybody to gain from this question." So I came to the class, and he said to me, "Come and stand in front of the class at the mass communication department at the Faculty of Arts here." So I stood in front of the class, and this man looked at me and said, "You asked me a question." I said, "They said, let me ask you questions too." He said to me, "When you were entering the university, where did you pass?" I said, "Sir, I passed through the university gate." He said, "When you were passing, who did you see?" I was wondering, what was the need? I said, "Sir, I saw the transporters, the Okada people." Said, "Yes." "Who else?" "I saw the security people." "Yes." "Who else?" "I saw those hawking." He said to me, "Think very well. Who else did you see?" I said, "Sir, I saw those who were begging." He said, "Describe them for me." So I described them to him. I said, "Some of them are blind, some of them are physically challenged." This lecturer pointed me in my face and said to me, "That's where people like you stay, at the gate." He said to me, "Pack your things, go to the gate, sit at the gate and beg." He said to me, "You will never become anything. Your place is at the gate." He said to me, "Look around the class. Is there anybody with a stick in their hand?" He said, "Back." Listen to me, child of God. Young people, listen. Life is not about the container, but the content. Life is not about the container. It's not about how tall you are. It's not about who you think you are. What can you do? What is inside of you? What prophecy are you carrying? What dream are you carrying? Can I share to you? I left this school with a first class. Listen to me, young people. I left this school with a CGPA of 4.86. Listen to me, young people. Today as I stand here, I have a PhD. I am a lecturer and I teach in 2 different schools. I have cars that I drive on my own. I have family, I have a wife and children. Listen, child of God. Nobody is your classmate. You are your own. Nobody should influence you. Hey, young person, listen to me. You are not in competition with anybody. By the special grace of God, I have traveled around the world. The last time I got to UK, I got to London Heathrow Airport with the same stick in my hand. That's something for which they mocked you. That's the same thing God will lay hand on and elevate you.
I took my time to listen to the man, and to a great extent, you know, I don't know about you, but it's actually very inspiring, I would say, for me as a person, and I think to every young person that sat there to listen to him, with what he's been able to achieve with his life, and then how far he's able to go and what he's doing, despite the fact that he is physically challenged. To a great extent, I think that speaks volume, and I think we can learn 1 or 2 from that. One thing I always believe as a person is trying to see the essence in people, and if you have been following me over time, I always tell you guys, humanity over everything. If there is no atom of humanity as you get to relate with people of different color, different tribe, or would I say different ethnicity or whatever, I think to a great extent you are losing that value of why we ourselves should coexist amongst each other. So if you look at his story and how he's faced rejections, and you know how he's been spoken to and all that because of the way he looks, but yet still he's able to go from that point beyond and to even achieve whatever he wants to achieve. I think to a great extent that is something inspiring. And like I always say, some of us may not have been on that path where we have faced adversities in life, so everything more of like comes easy. But if you have noticed me over time, what triggers me most times is when I feel like I am being challenged, or when I feel like maybe, you know, my integrity is being questioned or something. Everyone has a driving force. And I would say that maybe it's for a reason that what he went through, he went through those things, because if he didn't go through those things, maybe he wouldn't have had that motivation to strive on and prove some people wrong. So sometimes you may be going through something in your life which you don't expect it to be that way. You'll be like, why are people treating me like this, or why are things going like this, why are things going bad? Sometimes things might go bad in your life so that you change direction or change focus to look into maybe something else. Sometimes things may not be working fine the way you want, just to propel you to move to that next level in your life where you should be. Okay, so adversities that come to your life may not actually be all, you know, should all be negated, but some adversities that come to your life are actually there to, you know, push you to the next level of your life, or would I say drive you to achieve more. All right, so count it all joy, like we read in the Bible, James. And then to a great extent, we believe that by the grace of God, we all shall have an expected end, the expected end that God has for us, and to a good extent also the expected end we also want to have for ourselves. All right, so thanks for watching today's video. You could share with a friend or something, and I love you. Bye-bye.